Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we are going to be taking a full city walkthrough for the summer of 2025. There has been a lot of progress since the last video, and so if you haven't seen that one, I will be sure to put that in the top right for you to check that out. But with that being said, we are going to get started right now because like I said, there's a lot that has changed since then. First and foremost, you'll notice the Orient Express running around the layout, and ever since we changed the layout a few months ago, I don't actually believe I've ran the Orient Express on this before, so that feels pretty good to finally get that running again. I do have to share that motor between this and the Crocodile here, but that is just something to note. So with that, we are going to jump right in, starting with this front corner of the city, and then we will work our way around. So in this front corner here, as the Orient Express passes by, you'll notice a lot of neat foliage detail, and also some of the foliage detail is continuing over here next to the bonsai tree. And then we have this little railway museum over here with the Wild West train passenger car here from the Bricklink Designer Program. And I think that is a perfect spot for it. And then we have some benches out here and also some picnic tables. And then the corner kiosk from the Tudor Corner back in January. And then right across the street from that is the Botanical Garden. This is an ideas set for those of you not familiar, and I integrated this into the Lego City, and I added a bunch of details to the back here, as you can see, and I also went ahead and added a bunch of details to the front as well. Across the street from that is the Town Hall. Still waiting on the plan to try and figure out how I want to make the double corner here. I do still want to do that, and I think that would be a really good idea. But for the time being, it's just sitting alone at the moment. But coming down this way, you'll notice the train station here. The train station itself hasn't changed a whole lot, but we've added a lot of other details around it, like a parking lot, as well as these buildings here. These are both new since the previous city update, I believe. So that feels pretty good to fill in the spots in the city a lot more, and you'll notice more buildings are showing up as we continue this walkthrough here. And so this is a custom supermarket with a complete interior, and then this right here is a coffee shop, and this one is a townhouse. So that is really nice to see because I feel like Lego City is lacking in terms of apartments or townhouses and things like that, especially from the official modular sets. So that is just something to know. I really think that this turned out good, and I would love to make more in this style as well with the snot bricks and the 2x2 tiles. I think that would be pretty cool. Moving over this way, you can see the parking lot, and then over here is the back corner of the city, and I really love this. I love how this area turned out here. This really interesting curve here took a while to figure out, surprisingly, but it's not that complicated. It's just a curve, two straight segments, which I replaced with a switch, and then a curve, a 4-stud segment, and then 2 curves, and then it just matches up perfectly with the modular system that I have in the city. And we can watch the Orient Express go by really quick here, and you can see that actually this doesn't have any issues running on the layout. I know it's kind of loud, so I do apologize for that, but it does look pretty good going around the layout, and compared to when I was first getting it motorized and running around my previous layout, it's actually running quite well. All right, so I stopped the train just for the time being here because the motor is pretty loud. It uses a Technic motor as opposed to the other trains like the Horizon Express and the standard city trains where they use the train motor underneath that has the wheels built into it. So that is why it's so much louder than everything. But as you can see, all of this detail in here, I really do appreciate and I think looks really, really good. And then coming around this way, you can see the Jazz Club and the Parisian Restaurant here. Those haven't changed since the previous update, so we're just gonna move on past them. And then this right here, like you saw at the beginning of the update, is the start of the skyscraper area. So I need to kind of bring the phone all the way up to the top here so you can kind of get a view of this. But this is one half of the apartment building. This has 4 floors, and then this one over here is the second half of the apartment building, and it has 5 floors. And then so as you can see, the 5th floor is right here, and then it has this nice balcony area up top here, and then it is a pretty far drop all the way down. And then here is my custom school, which is a work in progress here. But I do think that with some modifications and obviously finishing the 3rd floor, I think this could look pretty good, especially once we get an interior in there. And then one of the more recent additions, which actually just happened literally within the last like week or two, is the corner garage. This is something that I had been meaning to pick up for some time now, and I had the opportunity to get it right as it was retiring, but I ultimately decided to get something else instead, which was the police station. And so I ended up missing out on it when it was on store shelves, but I finally picked it up on Facebook Marketplace. I got a good deal on it, so there is that right there. So really, really happy about that. And then coming over this way, you will see the back of the Daily Bugle. And so I'm just going to kind of spin around the rest of the way here just to show you guys what this all looks like from the front of the city, or at least the side, so you can get a better view of that. So these two builds right here are the apartment building like I just showed you, and then that's the corner garage right in front. And then this right here is the Daily Bugle. This is an even more recent addition than the corner garage is, and so I'm very happy with this. I did make it less like a battle scene, so I fixed up the window on the 3rd floor, and I made a couple of other modifications to it as well. So if you guys want to check those out, I'll put that video in the top right for you. And then this crane right here was actually over here for the longest time, but I decided to move it back since it was a similar height to the Daily Bugle and my apartment building, and I think that makes a little bit more sense, especially since we don't have any other tall buildings back here, at least not yet. And then coming down this way, you'll notice a bunch of changes since that previous video. So the Sanctum is the same, and the Lego store is the same. And then the Tudor Corner, I believe, and the Holiday Main Street is the same as well. Everything else is changed or new, which is great to see. So the Palace Cinema used to be over here, and then the Brick Bank used to be where the garage is, but we've done a number of swaps since then. The bookshop used to be over there, and now it's over here. And then we've created a couple of modular buildings here, custom ones, and we've also finished up a couple of them as well. This one is pretty recent, and I'm still trying to figure out the rest of the pieces that I would need in order to finish it. And then this is the post office. This is going to probably not get a 3rd floor anymore, I don't think. I think 2 floors is plenty, and then we can add some nice details on the roof. And then my custom flower shop right here, I think, is looking really good as well. And then coming around this way, you can see the small town store here. This is a modular building that I actually created instructions for. And so if you guys are interested in checking those instructions out, I'll leave the video to that in the top right corner of the video for you, so you guys can check that out. I would really appreciate it. It helps support the channel. And then coming over this way now, we can start to see this main street right here. And so this main street is a double wide road, whereas the other roads in my city are just one ways. So this takes up a full base plate of width here, and I really think that this looks good. These trees are a newer design here, which I am much happier with than the old ones. And then you'll notice the DeLorean and also the Mystery Machine. Now, there was actually one question that I wanted to ask you guys, and that is the sizes of vehicles. Do you guys prefer the 8 stud wide vehicles like the Speed Champions ones, or do you prefer the 6 stud wide vehicles like these here, the Ideas promos, the gift with purchases, and also the Harry Potter one, and a number of other vehicles like that as well? So if you guys have any preference as to which ones you would rather see in the city, drop your comments down below. I'm probably going to keep these two in regardless of the outcome of that poll, but I do still think that they're fun sets anyways. So with that, we can move on this way, which is this nice green space over here with a nice, very tiny dog park here, along with some picnic benches, and we are planning on adding a gazebo here. I think that would be a really nice addition right next to the angled road. And then we have the Tricks Bricks track here. You'll notice here, as well as over in the front of the city and also by the train station, there were a number of customized pieces as well. Coming through this way is the Ferris wheel and the parking lot next to it, which is going to have food trucks and other vendors like that. And then we just very recently got this road started as well, and also all of these base plates in. Very recently, I went and I got a piece of wood. It was actually a piece of scrap wood that I put down here at the same height as this here, which is the same height as the normal table. And then that is all good to go now. So we put the base plates on it and we're starting to mills plate it. And then we can figure out what exactly we want to put on here. So if you guys have any feedback for me on what you want to see here, again, drop your comments down below. I'd be very curious to hear what you guys think. But the Ferris wheel hasn't really changed since that last update. So we are just going to move on essentially over to here, which is the beach. And the beach in the ocean is looking fantastic. We do have one tiny section left to fill in, which is right here, as you can see. So everything from this corner all the way over here, all the way through to here is done. And then we just have this 48 by 48 plate here, and then those two 32 by 32s, and then that is it. So I need to figure out the bridge design here because there is going to be another table across the way here, and then we also need to figure out a train bridge as well. So that is something to look forward to in the very near future. And this is the front corner like I was talking about. As you can see, all of the rock work comes around, and then the retaining walls all the way down. And then we have the crocodile locomotive here. This was another one of the sets that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. Got a really good deal on it, and I'm super happy I did. And like I said earlier, I do have to share the motor between this and the Orient Express, so I can't have this running right now, but I will be swapping the motors between the two until I get a second one. So that is something to look forward to. But if you do want to see this in action, there is a dedicated video on my channel of it running. So be sure to check that out if you're interested. But I figured I'd fire up the Orient Express again just to have that going around the city. And so with that, that is pretty much the entire city layout for the summer of 2025. As you can see, a lot has happened since that last video. We've added Trix bricks, specialized switches here, and also smaller track segments as well. We've added multiple custom modular buildings. We've added multiple sets, older sets and newer ones. And this area is really, really starting to come together. So I am very happy with what we've accomplished in the last few months, and I hope you guys are too. If you are, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notifications so you don't miss any future uploads, like when we continue making more custom modular buildings and we expand the city. If you guys have any feedback for me on anything you want me to add in this area and also in any other areas of the city, make sure to drop your comments down below to let me know what you think. But once again, seriously, thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now.